But welcome to Sunday night study session. It is 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 22nd of March. Actually, a pretty decent A plus plusy, not really a clean A plus plus because actually the cross happened a couple candles behind. It shouldn't have triggered it, but it did for this push back down to the bottom of this range right now. This breaks under 40. 5 minute rejected. That 83 area on the 5, we got that closure all the way down here, but that 40 is the next area that needs to break if it's going to go down further. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Yes? All right. Okay, yes. So Erica might need to check her settings, hopefully. So we are in a new week, and we already had some pretty nice ones early on. It was a little choppy over here. Yeah, and obviously if you guys followed the tip game, right, the tip rules, you wouldn't have fallen for this one. This one could have gotten wicked out up here. This one got a few retests as long as it held that blue here, and it held. You had this beautiful setup over here. Then you had this little setup over here. Now you had your rejection. You had this setup over here that was a bit of a deep one. Right here, you had that big deep break, but if you were playing the careful with the tip breaks, you would have been fine. Then you had this beautiful opening 8 o'clock push up. Nice break and retest here. This one didn't give you a retest at all. Hit sauce box, rejected. Look where we're bouncing off right now. Bounced from 44 up to 56 with a hard rejection. 2 minute is going to form a potential level up here at around 60. 5 minute needs to close below that 40. That 1 minute closed right there on it. It's bleeding through a little bit. Get rid of this guy right here for now. 1 minute closes below here. Then you want to see the 5 minute. It still has 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So always be cautious. I want everyone to be very, very, very understanding of the reads I'm making. Your quantum doesn't look like yours, Winter. All I'm using is quantum. So if you're looking at my lines, right? Are you on M and Q or NQ first? Number two, the lines I draw them myself, right? I'm adding them. I can move them. The lines I'm adding. Right, I'm adding the top purple. I'm coloring them in. You could change the colors. Right, and I'm adding them in because the blue candles are supporting candles. The purple candles are the bearish candles. Right, there's the bleed through that 40 area. Still want to see the 5 minute close below it, but it's just running. It's just going all the way down to 2411. That's the next area. NQM 2026. I always chart on NQ1 exclamation, the continuous contracts, but it should look the same if you're on NQM, I think. Well, let's take a look. NQM 2026, right? Yeah, it should look the same. But again, right, you don't have the lines on here because I draw the lines in personally. So here's what it would look like on NQM on the 1 minute, right? I got 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute. So here's your 1 minute, and if you go, I go to continuous, but they should look identical. I draw those lines in myself. Oh, you got the fib on? Oh yeah, the fib might repaint. It might repaint. So yeah, be careful with that. All right, here's that push to 2411. This should be. Oh yeah, this should be here. Oh, actually, no, because that first candle closed above this line. So here, right here, guys, let me make sure I put that correctly. I made it. Okay, good. This opening candle closed up here. This is an old blue 5 minute candle that I went back to September to mark. At the current moment, for some reason, the replay doesn't show me candles before December 7th. And I don't know why. It's not showing me the blue candles before. But I'm going to share these with you guys later. I went back and went all the way back to like June. I can't remember when. And I marked a bunch of them all the way down here in case we get big drops. So I'll make sure I'll screenshot all this and pin it in the quantum chat, because I have a whole bunch that I went back, and for some reason, when I went back, I was trying to show my student what I did to go back. I can't go back to these dates anymore without the candles disappearing. So they are gone. So this opening 5-minute candle closed above this 23,965, and then it pushed up, right? Almost exactly like on Friday when we caught that big reversal during power hour. It was the same thing. Remember how I said the 5-minute closes above that 2490 area? I think it was 2490. We should get a push up, and it launched up 100 some points. That's identical to what I was looking at. So for the time being, we are going to get stuck in this potential wide range. On the 5, you're going to have this level potentially form at 22. You have this blue candle all the way down at 973 right here. So this bottom area on the 5-minute is what needs to break next. No retests, right? This was a clean break of this 1-minute blue and just melted through this one. This one gave you a break and retest entry of that previous area that became support after it broke. Now it flipped. That's gone. Now we're going to be back all the way down here. All right, got that 5-minute level right here. Lines up with this. We got this little 2-minute area as well, all the way down at this 975 area. All the way back down. That was a very nice, actually, 1-minute. Almost trifecta on the opposite way now. The 2-minute didn't trigger because it happened a couple candles in front. The 5-minute did trigger. Now let's see if we break the 70 area next. This has about 3 minutes left. Might not have CME. I don't use data from, I don't subscribe to data. I just log into my prop. So I'm logged into, I think FFF right now on this account. On TradingView, I log into the props, so I get the data from that. But I do have, what is it called? The highest plan on TradingView, whatever it is. I forget what it's called. All right, this whole bottom area, it is melting through. The DOM isn't going super crazy, but this whole bottom area needs to break. This 66.70 on the 5. So it still has about 2 minutes left. The DOM is getting jerky down around the 80. It looks like it's resisting 80 right now. But that 67.66 would be this 5-minute right here. You got two of them at 73 and 66. So this is where the next 5-minute candle will need to close below. And I would want to see a strong closure below. I don't want to see a tip candle of the 5, because that is a very big 5-minute candle. There's a bit of a pull up right there. You're testing a long, risking 10. It's not a bad spot. It's honestly not a bad spot. There it goes. It's already pushing up right there. Look at that. Very nice. That's not a bad spot. But again, right? Don't try to catch a humongous move. If you let your runners run, right? Take 10, reload if you got to, scale out. That's how I trade, right? I'll take a couple points, scale out, let a runner run. If it takes me out and I still like it, I'll re-enter it and do the same thing a couple times until it breaks. Once it breaks, right? By the time it breaks, sometimes I already collected 30 points, 40 points on the bounce up and down, up and down. And then once it breaks, I'll look for the break and retest potential. But this 5-minute candle has about 50 seconds left. It is testing this whole area. The DOM is getting very, very, very jerky down here. It is pulling back and forth. So there's definitely a fight happening here. The pull-ups are getting a little weaker, but that 5-minute candle needs to close below that 66. It doesn't. If it doesn't, it's going to be on the fence still because it is pulling. It is kind of pushing down pretty violently. All right, we got 5 seconds left here. It looks like it's going to try to push below it. Oh, it's right there. I'm not sold on that. I don't know. This is tricky. It did technically close below it. It closed below it. That's tricky. This one's tricky because it slightly closed below, but this is a tip break. This is those breaks that I'm not a fan of. But if it cannot break back above, it could push a little bit. But this one's a tricky one because it did close below by a point. And there it goes. It's moving. It's moving. But this is not pushing violently enough to... I want to see it really go. If this is going to hold below 60 now. There it goes. But it's not pushing enough. You're out? Yeah, good. Good, you're out. Yeah, the short's definitely looking decent right now. Each push-up got weaker and weaker. And that 5-minute closed right below it at the tippy tip. But this is getting... The DOM is getting really reactionary down here at 50. If the 1 minute pulls itself up and it can close above 66, maybe we'll see a potential push back up. But for the time being, if it cannot get back over 66, this is looking like it wants to test down. We have a lot of room. All right, here's a test of 66 right there. This 5-minute candle, still got 3 minutes left, and this is a tip break one. Again, this is one where you have to be careful because it could keep going. It could test a big push up again. This is what's risky with these tip breaks, and why I'm very patient. I do not like the tip breaks. That is the tippy tip. It did pull down some, but now you're getting that pull back up. But that needs to stay below 66 on the 5, and that is a huge breaking candle too. So the DOM is barely moving. This is a tight area. Everything is pointing south right now until I see a closure above 66 on the 5. Yep, there it goes. All right, look at that, it's pushing. And again, right, the rule for the breaks, the breaking candle is your guide. Look at the size of the breaking candle. And again, if it's risky, it's because it's a tip break, right? The 5-minute is a tip break, so it's not a full-blown like confidence candle to get in on the short here. You want to see it stay underneath this whole area, but it could retest that whole candle all the way up to 24,000. And this is where patience is key. So it's popping back up over 66 again. The 1 minute is curling up. Right? Everything is trying to push back up. We got about 1.5 minutes left for the next 5 minutes candle to close. And now I'm looking at my DOM and it's trying to hold above that 66. It's pulling down and then pulling up. I want to see it stay above 66 if this is going to go. In the next 5-minute candle closure. There it went. This is the tip game. I'm telling you, the tip game saves you every single time. Today is a good lesson to why you wait. That strike two. You went on the short there, Berserk? I was waiting. I'm not in anything just because, again, this is, you have to be careful. Tip breaks. Do not play the tip breaks. The initial push up gave you some points. But this push down gave you a little bit. Pulled down to 60. But this is, okay, I'm going to zoom in on the 5. Okay, this is why be careful with the tip breaks, right? Look at the size of the breaking candle, right? Look at what closed underneath that 66. That's a tip. That's a tip, right? This candle closed up here at 71. It's purple. It closed up here. This is still an active level for me. It did not break. This is still an active level. It did not break. This candle, I wanted to see a much better break. So again, right? It did retest 66 and gave you a pull down to 53, right? You had the opportunity to scalp 13 points. That was it. I didn't like the short. I did not take the short because of that tip break. I wasn't a fan of it. I did like the long if this next candle closed above, but that closes way up there. And we're in a weird point of where it could reject the breaking candle. And I'm honestly not a fan of this area where it's at. Because it would need to get back over. It would need to get back over that 24,007 to test 24,023. Right? This is not an A++ setup. Why? Right? I'm going to move this here. A++ setup. The cross is in front, not in the middle. So this is not an A++. The cross would need to be at the center of the candle or behind for it to be an A++. Entry on A++ is candle closure. This is not an A++. This is going to retest this level. It looks like it already attempted. That's a nice, actually, bullish push right there from that level. That also retested that 73. This is what you want to see it hold. You don't want to see it break through that again. So this is bouncing off that previous area. Played the bounce with 2 minis. Made 450. Damn, Seeking. Good job. But yeah, you have to be patient. So Winter Berserker, right? You were testing the long initially. It did pull back. You got out. Very good. You tested the short. You tested the short at 76. Where did you enter the short at, Winter Berserker? Let me ask you that. Made 440 on that Showtime. Very nice. Because I think you're new. If I'm not mistaken, Berserker, you might be a new guy. So I want to make sure I answer as much of your questions as possible so you have as much understanding on how these candles work. Because these quantum candles are big time support resistance. So the opening, was this an opening candle? This was 806. I look for any active quantum candles that have not been broken. And by broken, I mean they have been respected, no candle closure. So the candles have not closed above or below. I think he's okay. So that's what I'm looking for, right? So if the candle has been broken, and again, I don't like tip breaks, right? I follow this with levels as well. I look at the size of the candle, I look at the close, and I determine if that is a tip break. And a tip break, if the candle's huge and just a small portion of the candle within a few points, right? This candle right here, how big was this candle? This was a 43 point candle right here. Okay? And how many points of it? Just 4 points. That's a fraction of the candle. That is not a good break. You went short at 59? Oh, you went short at the bottom. Yeah. No. So what you want to enter, okay? So here's where you want to enter on when you're testing shorts. You want to enter on the retest of the break. So where you would have wanted to enter on a potential short to make it less risky is on the retest of that 66 or that 73. That's where you want to enter. You don't want to enter mid-move just because there's a chance of that area getting retested. So I played the basic setups for support and resistance. Quantum candles, the blue candles are support candles, the purple candles are resistance candles. Then you have the levels in play. So I'm looking for the break and retest. Now, it's not always going to present, right? We had an example of it not presenting right here. At that break of 42, it just melted right through it, right? It melted right through it by 14 points and then just continued. You're not always going to be presented with it, but I would prefer it because it would make my risk a lot lower. And that's okay, Winter, right? That's a part of the learning process. What I always ask everyone to do is screenshot your losses, learn from them, right? What happened? This is how I can potentially avoid not the best setups because, again, right? Why don't I play tip breaks? Because they're very risky to be a true break. I've been faked out a lot, basically. I've learned the lessons for you guys, which is why I teach them. and why I go over these over and over again, right? Look what's happening right now. We have an advanced read play right here that just occurred. And what is an advanced read, right? There's little other setups that you can play. The advanced read is just a retest of an area, a level that's attached to a quantum candle, right? This is still a level attached to this quantum candle until this quantum candle's been broken. That candle's still valid. Now it came all the way down to 67, didn't touch the level at 64. Kind of has given that level strength. So you could have entered anywhere on the top of 64. Your stop loss would be a break of the level or the break of the quantum candle, right? So if you came down and entered at 69, let's say you didn't get the peak bottom entry, you entered at 70, your stop loss could be below 64 or below 59. That is a beautiful bounce up. And this is my favorite setup because of the risk reduction. So if you pay attention to why I wait for retests, it's because the risk is reduced. I want to give my accounts as much life as possible. So I want my account to last me because I know I have so many setups I can play. And I can easily come back from a loss. I have my 3 strikes on my rule. I have a bunch of rules in play that allow me to play the market. You went long at 75? Very nice, man. Did you collect right there? 20 points, bro. Collect. Right? Collect as you get it. Let a runner continue to run for you. And if this continues to go, your runner should collect. Very nice, winner. Right? And again, right? There are setups throughout any time of the day. You're not going to have to wait for a specific time to find a setup. Just understand where the risk is. Understand where the best entry points are, and you're not going to catch every entry. There are going to be some places where you're like, oh, I should have gone in here. Oh, I should have done this. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is going to kill you because the market doesn't follow the same pattern exactly every time, right? You're going to find patterns that play out beautifully, quantum ranges to break some retests, but you're going to see patterns when they don't. Just like that example up here where it did not give you the retest, did not give me an entry point. I wouldn't have caught that at all. But the quantum patterns, right, that I'm talking about, they happen all the time. Just the amount of points you get are going to vary. You're not always going to get a break of 6, a retest, and a big push for 40 points. You might get 20. You might get 15. Be happy with that. Don't fall into that, oh, I got 100 points last time on this setup. I'm going to go for 100 points again. Because it might just give you 40, and then you let a green trade turn red for no reason. TPT eval, hot start to the week. Let's go, Scat. Let's go, Bubba. You're new too, Bubba. Welcome, brother. Yeah, any questions you all have, right? This is why I do these sessions. We're going to live read. We're going to watch this. And questions, right? Look at this, right? The 5-minute retested the whole breaking candle. Guess what? It couldn't break over 24,007. Back down we go. Now we're retesting this bottom area. Antes yo jugaba los 15 segundos, Bubba. Así empecé. Yo empecé con los 15 segundos y los 30 segundos. Hace mucho tiempo que ya no lo hago. Hoy entro en los 1 minuto. El del 1 minuto, un poco más tiempo, pero hay mejores jugadas. Puedes ganar más puntos sin pensar que la jugada te va a retroceder. Sorry, y'all. Went a little Spanish there. Basically, I used to play the 15-second and 30-second charts back in the day. Like, I used to trade 15 and 30. Let's take a quick gander at what it looks like right now. Let me actually open up a new one. Let me go to the gold one. Oh, let me turn the sauce box one off. Don't want to tease that too much. Oh, we broke this one. All right. We're going to tease it later. So let's go to NQ. Let's go to NQ. All right, let's take a look. And I'll show you how I used to play on the 15-second and 30-second. And it was very identical to I play the 1 and the 2 now. And you would just look for potential, right? You can kind of see it already. So, you know, when I think about it, now that I'm thinking about it in my head, I used to play nothing but 15, 30-second, 1-minute trifectas back in the day without using the 1 minute because I wouldn't look at the 1 minute. I would get out by the time the 30-second played out. Did the 1 minute? Let's see. Let's take a look, right? Because this was the sequence that I used to look for on the 30, 15, 1. Now that I'm actually thinking about it. It did. Oh, okay, it did. All right. Okay. Play these at your own risk because these require hyper focus. The seconds chart, this is why I leaned off of it, because the potential is bigger. The plays occur much faster. Okay, the risk tends to be reduced, but if you lose focus for even 5-10 seconds and the play flips on you and you did not put a stop loss, you can easily get burned. Okay, especially when there's volatility. But it's the same thing. You look for the continuing, right? You had your 15 seconds start the pattern, your 30-second continued it, and then your 1 minute bleeds through it. Right here, let's see here, right? We did have it potentially here, right? But again, cross occurred in front. Not a fan of that. Crosses behind, A++ setup. Crosses in front, right? Here, this one happened above, and it happened farther behind. Didn't give it to you on the 30-second. Here on the 1 minute, cross was behind. It was, but on the 30-second, it was not. So when all aligned, cross behind, slightly above, not the best. Cross behind, A++, 1 minute behind, bleed through, right? Your entry here on the 30-second would have been at 76. Your stop loss would have been at 87. Your 30-second entry would have been at 71. Your stop loss would have been at 87. Right? You can see the reduction in risk based on each setup with a nice bleed through move. But play them at your own risk, y'all. I'm just saying. But yes, you can play them on the seconds chart. You can see the same setups occur. You can see the breaking candles doing the same thing. You're going to get a lot more wicks. When I used to do this on the seconds chart, I actually would pick swing highs and swing lows as stops because of the potential wick action. You could see the breaking candle here, right? There's your wick that would have stopped you out if you had it right here. You could have picked this little swing high as your stop. You would have been saved. Here's another continuation play on the 15-second. There's your break and retest. Stop there, right? Super low risks here. 43, stop loss at 48. But again, it requires hyper focus. On your 30-second chart, it's the exact same thing, just requires hyper focus because these play out much faster. But you can see how they do the exact same patterns. Break, retest, move, break, no clean retest, move. Okay, and they play out the exact same. You can see it here, right? You have two, break, little bit of a push, didn't pull up, another one over here, no retest, just a push down. Let's look at this one. There's your break, retest 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently having a hard time pushing back up. Your 1 minute doing the same thing right now. Right, you have the break here, you have the break up here. Right, higher low or lower highs, everything's kind of giving you market structure. There's your breaking candle, right? Retest 1, retest 2, now it's fighting it again. Right, you would have caught 1 or 2 plays right there, or 1 if you caught this initial one. Now I'd be cautious here. Oh, we got a 30-second trying to break a bearish. This is a much faster pace, much faster pace. Right, I'm not a fan of it because again, I don't want to be super focused in, but the setups are there. Yeah, ojos pegados a la pantalla, exacto. Yeah, so el cruz quiere que el cruz esté en medio de la vela o atrás, con los azules que van a ser para support. Quieres que los cruces no estén debajo, porque le va a poner un poco de riesgo, porque si el nivel, si quiere tocar el nivel y quiebra el azul, estás quebrando el support. Igual con los de venta. Quieres que el cruz esté en medio, en centro y no encima, porque hay chance que el nivel que va a creer va a tratar de quebrarlo. Si lo quiebra, hay posibilidad que va a ir para arriba dependiendo de la posición. So, esto dan riesgo, ¿verdad? Pero ninguno cerró encima. Si ves aquí, ninguno cerró encima. Cero bajo, cero bajo, cero bajo, boom, boom. Y aquí igual. Cerró, pero al fin quebró. Hizo un pujo para arriba otra vez y después acá quebró el azul. Pero esto de los segundos, bastante riesgo, hermano. Okay. Let's go back to the 1 minute. All right, look at that. 5-minute close back below that 66. And guess what it did? Break and retest. Right? You had an opportunity for the break and retest. Now you have the opportunity for a break and retest. Back here. 66. Pull down 20 some points. Wow. Very nice. G57. I know. Bilingual today. We got bilingual today. So I'm gonna have to put this on the YouTube and be like, hey, we got some Spanish in here. It's not the best, but hopefully, hey, ¿me entendiste bien, papá? Ojalá que sí, porque yo sé que mi español no es perfecto. Spanish is not perfect, but I hope you understood it. But there's the break and retest. Look at that. Breaking candle, break and retest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one of these, a stop would have been a break back above 66, right? 66, same thing on the 5-minute. You had opportunity to short it here. You had opportunity to short it. Same, you respect your stop losses, right? You had 3 opportunities so far to short 66. We had some fun. When was it? Was it Thursday or Friday where I kept shorting that 70 area? I was like, as long as it doesn't break 70, I'm going to keep shorting it. Pulled up, and I kept getting 20, 30 points at a time. And then eventually we got a big bleed through. This is exactly what I'm reading. Not kind of. This is exactly what I'm reading. Right? You have the breaks of these previous areas. As long as it continues to hold below that 66, which was right here, and that 60, right, until it breaks above. It was Thursday, Madhouse. Yeah, it was fun as hell. I was like, I was having a blast doing that for some reason. But that's literally, right, how I can catch these areas, find them, identify them, and play them until it breaks. Because I know that's an area where there's resistance until it breaks. And when it pushes up violently, I'm going to be extra patient. This was a big pull up from 36. Now I'm going to be very cautious, right? But doesn't mean I might not test it again. It's just I'm going to be very cautious. If I already caught it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, the 5th time, right? Oh, and it's a blue now. So got to be extra careful. I want to move this thing down here, right? Because this could get stuck in between. You want to be cautious. Eventually, if it keeps pushing it, it might try to break it. But look, it's rejecting it again. 60. Oh, there's a 10-point rejection. You just keep playing it until it breaks with confidence, right? But be controlling of your size. This is how I play on the chop, and I ain't on the chop, especially when it's volatile like this. While everyone else is like, this chop sucks. Guess what? I'm like, ha 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 ha. Every time it tests 66, 67, or 60, I'm going to short it until it breaks. And I'm only going to play with a few micros because guess what? If I caught it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I'm not giving none of that shit back. I'm just going to give a little bit back. Yeah, like right now, every time it hits 60, look, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of these gave you 40 points. 40 points. Not 40, I'm sorry. 20 points. 20 points. 20 points. 20 points. 20 points. 100 points right there in a matter of 5 minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. And once you find that area, you can identify it, right? And again, right, with the way the quantum's built with the levels in the candles, it's really easy to identify it. Now, are you going to be able to find it every single time? No, right? Be careful. Be very careful. Be very careful. Be able to find where those reactions are. And again, I use the DOM as extra confluence. But look at that, 57, pulled down another 10 points, right? That 60 area is a major area. Eventually, right, the more it plays with both sides, it's going to break a side. So this is why you want to be careful. If you caught it 4 or 5 times, be happy with that. If you caught it 3 times, be happy with that. Don't keep poking the bear, right? Eventually it's going to bite you in the ass. So don't keep going, this is too easy, and then size up, and then all of a sudden you just gave back everything you just made. When scalping, depending on the risk, I have it. If you go in the quantum chat, in the pinned messages, look for the quantum challenge rules. I have my exact sizing and risk put in there. Another blue on the 1. So now we're building slowly. We're building support down here. We're testing that 66 area again. 2 minutes crossing up. So be careful here, right? Keep an eye on what you're looking at. This is again, right? The 2 minutes crossing up. So this might give a bit of a more push. This might actually push up a little deeper, maybe to test this 87 15-minute level. But if it pulls down and the 1 minute closes below, we got 30 seconds. We just might be trying to make a lower high here. Potentially, if you're looking at what the market's doing, right? Look at this, right? We might be making it around here. And this is where you can determine, right? And again, right? How do we know if the downtrend's going to continue? Wait for those blues to break, right? You got new blues now. And now be patient. It broke. Oh, it closed over 66. Now I'd be very careful. The 5 minutes trying to curl up. I'd just be careful. This would be the point where I'd be like, I ate enough on it. Do I need to risk eating again on it? Even if it looks like it's going to play out? I ate enough on it, right? Oh, it played out again, right? But again, you risk what you're willing to risk and be okay not giving back too much. Please move the camera away from the door. Okay. Okay. There you go. There you go. That white. All right. Spanglish today, amor. Are you scalping every time it hits 66 and fails? I mean, as long as the candle closes below it. That 1 minute candle closed slightly above. It was a tip break. I would have been cautious on that. It did pull back, but again, any candle breaking above an area that keeps rejecting and is potentially going to flip it to support, might do it right now. You want to be careful. Why on wealth charts the blue candle is not showing up, but it does show up on my trading view? Is that on NQ? We are working. Wealth charts has a tiny bit of discrepancies here and there. We are working with them on that. I know PHP had a few discrepancies. I know P2P had some discrepancies. So anytime you guys find those discrepancies, please screenshot them. Go put them in the quantum chat for me so I know where to look and I know what to send them, so we can see what it might be. But if they're both on NQ, NQ, yes. If they're on MNQ will differ slightly even on TradingView. The SRs are deleted automatically. They will delete if the level breaks. The blue lines, I will delete them once they're broken. So like this one technically was broken up here. It should be gone, right? This one right here should be gone. You can leave it as an area, right? When a support or resistance area gets broken, right? It flips to resistance, just like we saw here, right? But once it gets broken again, right? That 68 area was really where it was holding back, right? This was resistance, resistance, resistance. Then it closed above. Then it closed above again, retested it, now it pushed up. Then it became support again. All this down here, right? This couldn't break this bottom side. We have these blue lines, these blue candles down here. Couldn't break. Couldn't break these, so now we're flipping back up. So I will keep them in play for visualizations for you guys so you guys can see where I'm looking at. I already know that this 66, 68 area is where I need to see it close above for a flip back up to challenge some of the top side, right? So here's where the top side will be on the 5. The 5 minute is trying to curl up and cross up, right? Need to see it close above that 87, that 15 minute level. That 2 minute gave you a risky A++ setup, right? The cross happened behind, but it happened below. Now it did play out beautifully. Your entry would have been candle closure at 67. Would have been a bit risky because of that. You know, you needed it to really break that 68, 67 area. It was just a tiny bit, and it did push up a good 30 points. There's, again, you know where your stop loss is going to be. So if you're going to test this, you have to understand it is risky. Why? Because we are downtrending, right? We have that area of resistance at 68 that was support before. You know it needs to break above that. But if you're going to test it, right, your stop loss is about 15 to 20 points, depending on where you want to set it. If you're risking 20 points, I would go for 20. You obviously got 20. Did I have the initial room for 20 from my observation? Not really, right? Not really, because I needed that whole thing to break, right? You also had this 2 minute area at 74. So it would have added some risk, but you would take the trade based on what you're looking at. If you liked it, you would have taken it. Would I have taken it? Most likely not. This session's recorded, yes. Ooh, very nice, Garza. 23,900 and hit it tonight. So the blue lines, right, as they break, you delete them. As they shift, you can move them. You're going to see blue candles usually if the area holds strong. You're going to see an initial break, and then you might see a new one form. Especially when you have higher time frame ones, right? These on the 5 minute are technically gone now. They've been broken. These are gone. These are these on the 1 minute. They're technically they're gone. Or actually no, never mind. Were they broken? Hold on. Yeah, they are broken. These are broken. Broken. They're gone. So I'm gonna delete them. They're gone. I could leave this one on the 1 here. This one's gone. Because I don't have anything here. Yep, this one's gone. Hold on. Let me double check and make sure this is an older one. Because that first 1 minute blue. Man, I don't know when the last time it was here though. Because it's not labeled as a 5. And it did not break right here. Did not break right here on the 1 minute chart. And that's right here. So I'm going to leave this one for now because I think this one's from an older 1 minute candle. I normally label them when you see 5 minute. I label them when they're 5 minutes. All right. Let's go. Short from 92 cut a K. Let's go, winner. Very nice. ES en las noches, no. En el día sí. Yo busco SPX en el día. En la noche no me importa porque no se... ES no se mueve muy bien. A veces las velas son pequeños. Pero yo no leo ES en la noche con NQ. En el día sí. Cuando abre Nueva York a las 9:30 en el día, sí. Failed bearish on gold, just went over 50 points. Nuts? No way. Did it really? Gold is moving. I saw like a $50 candle, 1 minute candle on gold. Let's take a peek. Oh, snap. Look at that. That's a beauty right there. This one would have gotten you right here on the retest. Well, it wouldn't have been a bad loss. This one, a beautiful break and retest right there. With the 2 minute cross up. Or 5 minute cross up. Look at the 5 minute on gold. I don't normally look at the 5 minute, but that played out very nice. 35 entry. That would have been a deep stop loss though, but damn, that is a huge move. That is a it's a $60 move. Wow. Gold is insanely volatile right now. 14.5 ATR, yeah, that's high. Right up to that 2770 level. And start it up here. Could see the 2 minute A++ up there. Well, I was on the fence on it actually being an A++. Failed bullish move after failed bullish move. Pretty much telling you the trend was down all night. Look at this. Not a single purple broken. Look at this up here. Not a single purple broken. Not not a single one at all. The entire night until right now. That these are the first 2 breaks of purple candles. You could have held on to a short from all the way up here until it broke a purple candle and rode it all the way down. We had a nice bounce off this sauce box. I do have intraday sauce boxes on gold. Let me show you I'll show you a sneak peek of the time on this one. This one is from, oh, I don't have the date. This is an old one. So this one doesn't have a date. Normally I have dates on this, but this is an old one where I could not find the date on it. So I just put the markers on them. Clean bounce off of it. Holy crap. Yeah, gold's moving very nice today. Even the 2 minute. Not a single purple broke up at this point. Did break over here, but you could have played that. This one broke here. From up here, 208. Yeah, 6 o'clock. The 5 minute. Yeah, gold's looking actually really nice. I've been playing gold the last few nights. It's been really good. Yeah, here we go. NQs try to cross up. No purple candles around here. None at all. So be cautious here because eventually one's going to form. But for the time being, it is looking like it's pushing up again very violently. Very cool. Got a higher low on NQ, yep. On the 1 minute. The 1 minute's trying to flip. The 2 minutes also trying to flip. It did make a higher high and a higher low. The 5 minutes still looks bearish, right? The 5 minute would need to rip through that 2023 and then rip through 2457 to make a potential flip to go up higher. But the 1 minute definitely showing you a flip in structure. The 2 minute, so subtle right here. The 5 minute, not clear yet. All right, anybody have any questions? It's 9:16. I'm so sorry I could not come in earlier. It's 1 hour. I'm gonna have a remake. I'm gonna do another one this week, okay? I am leaving for Florida on Thursday. I'm gonna try to sneak one in before. I only have 2 students, I think. So I'll be able to sneak one in. Sigo reventándome mi cuenta en Asia y Londres porque el precio estaba lento y no había quantum. Esto es un problema ya que trabajo. Sí, tienes que tener paciencia, especialmente con el trabajo. Tienes que encontrar un tiempo donde vas a tener la chance para hacer tus trades sin pensar, solo puedo en este momento, porque si no te vas a apurar. Y si te apuras en buscar jugadas, solo vas a apretar el botón para apretarlo, porque no vas a tener tiempo. Eso es importante para esperar. Hay bastante opciones para jugadas con Quantum. Y si tienes pregunta, aunque sea en español, pregúntame en el Quantum Chat. Oye, en el Quantum Chat, que sea en español, yo te voy a responder. Ok, hermano. So, aquí estoy, yo hablo español. Voy a tratar de hacer un video de Quantum en español. Pero igual, español es mi segundo lenguaje. Yo sabo el Spanglish mejor que el inglés. So van a haber palabras que a veces me voy a perder. Pero aquí estoy, hermano. Cualquier pregunta de Quantum, no tenga pena preguntarlo. Yeah, we got a Spanglish lesson today, guys. You guys are getting a bilingual lesson today, which is kind of cool because I've been thinking about doing a Spanish video because I've gotten a lot of requests for it. This might be the little practice one. Right up to that 23. So la 1 hora de Quantum, puedes ver en los tiempos más largos. No sé si preguntaste del IS o la 1 hora, pero los tiempos más largos, las velas de Quantum puedes usarlas, como de 5 minutos. Hay menos. Pero el problema con eso es que las velas y los niveles de los horarios más grandes, la vela puede bajar bastante y después subir. Y si cierra encima del nivel va a estar bien. Pero hay bastante espacio para que baje. So tienes que tener mucho cuidado. Pero igual puedes marcar las velas de los horarios más grandes también. O los niveles. Pero tienes que tener paciencia y cuidado con esos. Yo creo que esa fue la pregunta, hermano. Pero paciencia. No tienes que jugar con muy grande, muchos contratos. No tienes que jugar con muchos contratos. Puedes hacer bastante con muy poco. Así. Hasta las chicas te dicen eso también, ¿verdad? Hay unas chicas que te dicen, puedes hacer bastante con muy poco. Not mine. Yeah. Not yours outside. Hey, there's some girls that show love for the little ones. Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's about the motion of the ocean, not the size. That's what we were just talking about there, guys, in Spanish. In case y'all were wondering. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them in the quantum chat. I'm going to do another session this week for y'all to make up for my tardiness today, because I do apologize. But I love to coach, and I get lost in the coaching, and then I lose track of time. I want to make sure that my students answer all their questions, and everything. But I'll see you guys again either tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. I think it might be tomorrow because Wednesday we're packing. Or it might be Wednesday. No, Wednesday my session is. Oh, maybe Wednesday during after the morning show. But I'll see. Because Llama's doing his thing on Tuesday. So I'll see. I'll figure it out. I'll coordinate it. Either way, I'll announce it. We'll do another one. And this one's recorded. I'm going to post this one up on the YouTube. So you guys will get to watch this again. But there were some actually really nice setups tonight, which weren't bad at all. So I hope everyone, got to learn a little something. I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next session. And I don't know when to Berserker. I don't know. She definitely doesn't need to. But everyone, enjoy your nights. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, YouTube. Please like, subscribe, tickle the bell, right? Set the alerts, do all that fun stuff. Guys got to see a little bit of Spanish, Javi, today. I'll be thinking about doing some more quantum content in Spanish, maybe. Show me the content. Los latinos que quieren aprender quantum en español, enséñenme. Si lo quieren, lo puedo hacer. Pero lo vemos la próxima. Guys, everyone have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.